Hello and everyone, and welcome to our first video podcast. And this is All the Things with Lane and Laney. And we are here with a distinguished gentleman. I'll get to him in just a second. But we're happy to have you here, everyone listening. And we're going to get started with our guest. Our next guest is a well-known former NFL quarterback, having played 11 total seasons in the NFL. He was originally drafted by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in 2006. And would also go on to be a member of the team for the St. Louis Rams, Cleveland Browns, Oakland Raiders, and finally finish out his career with the Pittsburgh Steelers. So many times, former players of professional sports humbly pass over questions or comments on how much talent, ability it really takes to make it in a professional sport. So we are here today to not only give this man his props, but hopefully ask him some questions that will get past that humble exterior to prove what a stud he really was in a sport, what he had to do to make it, and what life is like after the game. He gives back to the community and people who have supported him by owning a hospice care facility in his hometown of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, as well as owning an awesome restaurant, which we are seated at here today, named Social in Perrysburg, Ohio. Also making himself available for public speaking events, he passes the encouraging words of his work ethic and discipline that he and his family live by. Please welcome to the podcast the uber-talented and ever-striving Bruce Gradkowski.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Glad to have you.
Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to sit with us.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You know, it's funny because that's where we're at nowadays, the podcast,
Yes.
YouTube. I mean, anything you want to learn about or hear about, it's at our fingertips.
It's
so
great.
It's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how many times he's like, I got to fix something. I'm going to look it up on YouTube because I've never done it before. So,
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
it's crazy.
Exactly. But no, we'll scream through some questions. We're looking to stay quiet and let you talk because we're here interviewing you. We're excited to be here with you. You played for several teams in the NFL. Living that life and schedule alone has to be a grind, no matter what team you played for. Was it more work or more fun for you over your career?
You know, I think it was both. But it is like thinking back to it, it's like, man, would I do that again? You know,
Yeah.
if I was given the choice, because there was so much hard work that you had to, put into it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, too, it was, injuries, adversity, being, cut by a team and released and trying to earn a job or a spot, even starting at Toledo. So a lot of difficult times, but a lot of fun times as well. A lot of benefits from a lot of things that not materialistic that you see, but you learn from with being a part of sports and teams and the discipline and teamwork that comes along with it.
Okay. Let's say, was there a team you preferred? What was the best experience you had, or was there a number one? Or
So, it's tough. I got drafted by Tampa Bay, and John Gruden was the head coach at the time, and so I loved Tampa. But, when I played for the Raiders, that was awesome because that was a point in my career where I felt like it was coming together, where, I felt like I understood the game and my levels of, where I was at as a player. And then and I got to play a bunch in Oakland, so it was cool. So I have a lot of respect and admiration for the Raiders and the Steelers. Being my hometown, I'm from Pittsburgh,
Right.
so to be able to end my career with the Steelers was pretty
That's
cool.
That's awesome. So
That's
say
really cool.
two things on that. Gruden just looks like a mean SOB. I love his coaching style. I love the way he gets after guys.
And he is. He is he's very he holds his guys accountable, but he expects a lot out of you, because his offense, it's hard to learn. It's a lot, but it also gives you the tools to be successful. So I learned so much good football from him. And, I started 11 games as a rookie, and that kind of helped propel me for an 11-year NFL career. With all the experience and the knowledge I gained from learning from him, it was pretty cool. So he's crazy, man, but he's a good teacher.
Yeah.
And he loves the game. He puts a lot of time into it.
As I want to say the most I think I've seen you play was when you were at Oakland. And you said that is the most you played?
Probably the best I've played. When I started 11 games, that was probably the longest stretch I had as a starter. But then when I got that other opportunity in Oakland in 2009, I think it was like a 4 or 5 game stretch, And that's when I had the most success, like because I felt like it was finally coming together. And then unfortunately I dealt with some injuries. You know, I tore both my MCLs in the same game.
Really?
Oh, wow.
And it was the game after I just threw for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns against the Steelers. So it was like, oh, man, I'm finally getting in the groove, and then
Yeah.
I get hurt.
I say, how did you get both to go? Was it the same simultaneous play, or was it like I did one, I'm still good to go, let's get me back out?
Yeah, so it was the first quarter. I was dropping back to pass, and I got sacked. I got hit in my left knee, and I felt a pop, and I was like, oh, that didn't feel right.
Right.
But I kind of kept playing because I could still move a little bit. And then it was in the second quarter, I took another sack, and then boom, right on my right knee.
God,
So at that
Wow.
point, I was like, yeah, I think that's it. And then we only had
Close day.
like 3 games left, so then I was out the remainder of the year.
Oh, jeez.
All right. So you transitioned from several different teams. What was that like? Were you accepted right off the bat? Were there any trials by fire? Were there teammates that were just like, who's this guy? That type of thing, or?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely tough, you know, because you finally get established maybe the team, and then all of a sudden you sign with a new team, and so you got to kind of navigate those waters. But I always lean back into a few key things that have helped me. Like when I go to new spots, it's like, look, control what you could control. You know, focus on what you could control. And to me, that's, you know, my attitude, my effort, my preparation. You know, I can be on time. I can approach the day with a good attitude, work hard. And then through those things and knowing what to do, then you gain the respect of your teammates. And that's all of a sudden, oh, this guy works hard. Oh, he's always on time. He's early. He knows what to do. And, you know, players respect that. Just like
Yeah.
any job. You know, we
That
all
makes sense.
you know, you look toward your counterpart that knows what he or she's doing. And what
Yeah.
do? You gravitate towards them because you're like, hey, how did you do that project again?
Right.
How did you
Right.
connect that podcast, or how did you do that video? Like, can you show me? And now all of a sudden, that's just kind of how I built, you know, in each city, as I just had to kind of bring it back to, okay, what can I control at this point? And that's working hard, having a good attitude, and knowing what I'm supposed to do.
That makes sense.
So in the NFL, there's an understanding amongst players who are recruited teams coming in as free agents, being new to the roster. You kind of explained that as far as you going from the NFL back to normal life. Did your friends just say, hey, God, it's glad to see you again, you know, welcome back to being a normal person?
Yeah.
I mean, what was the transition like when you were done and just said, okay, moving back?
Well, I think, you know, it's a life. You know, it's the life I live, football. You know, so it wasn't like, I mean, it's tough because as far as friends and stuff, you kind of, as you grow, you know, just like anything, you have your high school friends, then you
Yeah.
go to college, you have your college friends, and then at your job, you have, you know, your friends at your job. So in each city, we had a core group of friends that we got close to. And, you know, there's a few that in every city we continue to stay in touch with.
Yeah.
But then when football was over, it was hard. It was because it's different, because your whole life, my whole life, that's all I was striving for, is to get to the NFL, to play football. Now all of a sudden one day, that's it. It's like, okay, well, now what?
Yeah, what
you
do
know,
you do with that?
in a sense, like, am I not important anymore? Does this not matter? You know, but I think I did a good job as far as just staying busy. You know, at one point I had 3 restaurants, hospice company in Pittsburgh, almost too many things going on.
Yeah.
But it was good because it helped that transition be more smooth.
Say, was there a period after you were finished where you were just like, geez, I don't know what to do with myself now? Was there like a moment of depression, or, you know, I've tried to hit that goal, I hit it, that's who I am? Or were you just kind of like, well, that wasn't who I am, this is who I am today?
I think, I mean, kind of always trying to learn that and navigate through that. I mean, I think there was definitely moments of depression where it's, you miss the game, you miss being in the locker room, you miss being on TV and involved in the game plan and preparation and trying to compete and win every week. You miss that. And so you feel left out in a sense. But then at the end of the day, too, no, football's not everything, you know. And, you know, I'm lucky with my faith and my family and all that. So that kind of helped me, you know, with the transition.
This is going to be a fun question. I couldn't wait to ask this question. Learning plays in the NFL, a.k.a. the lingo, the acronyms, the covert language, so that the other team doesn't know what the hell you're talking about. In a normal person's mind, it would make their eyes roll back in their head and their head explode. You were able to adapt to that language from high school to college and then into the NFL. Do you ultimately believe that that was one of your skills that they noticed that got you into the NFL? I mean, think of all the thousands of kids that are trying to make it into the NFL.
Right.
And you were one of the chosen ones. Was the learning of the playbook, how to remember it, how to call it, all that stuff,
that was definitely a key factor. I think every level you go up from high school to college to the NFL, every level gets more mentally tough. Now you have to have the physical ability.
Sure.
I mean, that's first and foremost. But it's the mental aspect of not only learning the plays, but dealing with the adversities that come with it, the competition, that have to battle to win a job. And so, and I learned a lot because my freshman year at Toledo, I didn't learn the playbook that fast. Like, I didn't understand what it meant to study and learn it. And I remember my coach said to me, you don't work hard. You don't know what it takes to work hard. And I'm thinking, yeah, I do. I'm always the first one running and sprinting and lifting. And then I realized, though, working hard is not just physically, it's mentally.
Yeah.
Sure.
And that's where I started taking home our play script from every practice, and I would draw out every single play on what everyone did.
Oh, wow.
So then I really learned this playbook. And, that just helped me. When I learned that you can, control what you know and learn and, like, you put in the work, that working hard is not just physically, it's mentally as well, then that took my game to a whole new level. So then when I got drafted in the NFL, that's what kept me around the NFL. Coaches could trust me that I was going to know what to do and be smart. I was a good teammate. So those things help. But I think, when I understood that and then I get drafted to Tampa and I'm trying to, learn John Gruden's offense, kind of like to your question, is there a play that would make fans' eyes roll in the back of their head? Yeah, this play kept me up at night as a rookie because you think about it. I'm a young rookie. I'm about to get in the huddle with Joey Galloway, Mike Allstott, these veterans playing for Tampa Bay. I didn't want to call the play wrong.
Right.
So this one play kept me up at night. I remember just memorizing the heck out of it. And the play was Indy right 10, X short, fake 96 power king, naked left X slide.
Boom. There goes
and
people's
there
minds.
goes my eyes right now.
Yeah, so that's, now when you learn it, you understand Indy right was a formation, 10 was a shift, Indy right 10, then X short was a motion. So Indy right 10, X short, then fake 96 power king, that's a fake run to the right.
Okay.
And then naked left is me, like, bootlegging to the left, X sliding out of the backfield. So when you break it down into pieces,
Sure.
you can learn it, but it's tough.
Yeah.
That's what I was getting at. Was that part of that question was, did you have any examples of
Yeah.
that type of lingo? And the stuff like that would just, like I said,
I had no idea that goes on.
Well, and there's other ones too, because with John Gruden, he would always call 2 plays in the huddle. So, when I'd get a play call from him from the sideline, it could be, hey, trips right, 3-jet all go special, can it with 358 cannon on the dummy count. So then I have to repeat that in the huddle. So right there, I just called 2 plays.
Yeah.
So now I called 2 plays in the huddle. We get to the line of scrimmage, and based on what the defense did,
Okay.
then that's how I, depending what play I run and so forth like that.
Wow.
Okay. See, I don't want to ask all the questions here, but
I know, but this isn't my element right now, so I'll let you take care of these ones.
what's the commission on audibles? When you read the defense, is the coach going to get pissed that you screwed up his play because the
No.
people upstairs are viewing something else and you're seeing something else?
Yeah, I mean, that always comes into play, but you put the work in during the week, that there's so much communication involved that you understand, hey, when you see this look, then audible to this play or change it to this
okay.
play or throw it to this receiver. And look, not all the time guys do it perfectly, or your defenses are good too. They're going to disguise some coverages and change things up. So, it's tough, but you kind of try to work through that together. I mean, there's times Gruden was saying a few things in my ear that pray I wouldn't want my mom hearing. But you kind of just learn from it. But it's the preparation through the week that helps you understand what you're supposed to do on game day.
Anybody on any of these teams that you can think of? You don't have to name names, but can you name or think about anybody that would, get me the ball. Give me the ball. You need to throw me the ball more. You need to give me the ball more.
Every wide receiver I've ever played with. I was just talking to Lance Moore, a former teammate and my roommate from Toledo yesterday, and we're talking, and I'm like, I could only imagine being a receiver. You're working hard. You're trying to get the ball. But whether it's the game plan, whether it's, the quarterback not throwing your way, whatever's happening, it's tough. But you want to help your team. You want to feel involved. And Lance was like, yeah, you should have thrown me the ball more. And so the receivers, they just want to be a part of the game plan and be involved. So receivers are, I don't want to say selfish guys, but they just want to help their team win.
I say, did you have a favorite target you threw to, or loved you were always looking that way, or looked one way and then went looking back just for that guy?
So, Lance Moore in college here at Toledo, he was my number one target, favorite receiver. We were roommates, so we had a really good connection. Joey Galloway in Tampa, awesome teammate, friend. When I first got to Tampa, I didn't have a car, and he was like, here, you could drive this around. Well, it was his Jaguar convertible, so I'm cruising in a Jaguar around Tampa, just getting out of college at Toledo, so it wasn't a bad gig.
Welcome to the life, right?
Yep.
So you had a podcast? You still have a podcast?
So I did a few years ago. Now I do some of these live Twitter shows on Pro Football Focus. So then I just kind of post those to my YouTube page. But I have not uploaded the audio. Yeah, so I need to start uploading the audio back to my podcast, because I did it a few years ago, just never really because I'm on NFL radio every Thursday and Friday. So with a lot of stuff going on, I just never kept on with my individual podcast.
Say, was it a good time? Was it all about getting a guest on, or was it just about you analyzing everything?
Yeah, so sometimes, it was more about me analyzing, but I had a few guests on. I had John Clayton on. I had Sam Darnold when he first was getting drafted and stuff like that. But it was just, for me, it was hard to keep up with because of everything else I had going on.
Right.
So now I do try to keep kind of doing the podcast through some of the other avenues, like on Twitter. And so now I'm kind of posting it all to my YouTube page now.
A philosophy for kids in sports: play everything. Do you believe that? And can you expand on that thought at all?
No, absolutely, because it helped me in my career. I was, real young. I was soccer and hockey, like floor hockey. But then really through my life, it was baseball, basketball, and football. Okay. And and then when I got to college, it was basketball and football. Those were my two sports, but basketball helped me on the football field with the athleticism. Football helped me on the basketball court with the toughness and adversity and all that. So I honestly, like, kids nowadays, they have to play as many sports as they can, because you just never know. You never know where the road leads. And then each sport, it helps you. Develop you in different areas of your game and the athleticism. So I'm a big advocate that you do as much as you can at a young age. And then it all, like, you kind of fine-tune it as you get older.
Sure.
Yeah.
And because even when I was in high school, I didn't know until my senior year whether I was going to play basketball or football. Yeah, I had a few basketball offers. I had a few football. So at the end of the day, it was like, what's going to be that sport? So I kept trying to keep my options open. So I think kids should play as many sports as they can, and especially what they enjoy.
Okay. As I say, what would you say to the coaches nowadays that either they mandate or it's an unspoken thing that if your kid doesn't play this sport all year round, he's not going to play XYZ sport during that time in the season?
Yeah.
What would you say to those coaches? That's becoming the way of the world. It's like the travel teams get noticed, and the high school teams, they don't get anything.
Yeah. It's just tough. I think because, of course, as a coach, you want to try to have your guys as much as you can, to have them prepare and be – I know how the coaches are. I mean, because you want your guys to be prepared and ready to go. But at the end of the day, some of the coaches I know just locally, they're trying to do the best they can for their kids. They understand that, it's baseball season right now, so they're not going to be at every lift. Or they have open gym for basketball, so they have to go do that. So it's give and take, but I do think as you get older is when you have to start really investing the time on what you really want to do and where you can see, because, the benefits of going to college and having a scholarship.
Sure.
Where's your best opportunity?
Do you have kids?
Yeah, we have 3 kids.
Thought so.
8, 5, and 3. Lily's 8.
Oh, okay.
Roman's 5 and Lincoln's 3. So, Lily's just in soccer now. Roman played hockey. He's in baseball now.
Oh, okay.
And Lincoln's just enjoying the snacks.
Yes. We have an 8 and 5-year-old, so we can relate.
So
they still like the snacks,
You know how it is. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So say
Yes.
you made time for us today. I don't know how you made that possible with 3 children.
God
Yes.
bless my wife,
Yeah.
She's able to hold it down while I'm out and about doing a million other things. So, but, we're fortunate because we have a pool. And I'll tell you what, a pool is the best investment ever if you can, because just in the summer it keeps them active, so much to do. And I just think it's great for their health and to stay active. But, it's nice, too, when they could swim and you could sit back in the lawn chair and watch.
Oh, heck yeah. And it tires them out at the end of the day.
Exactly. Makes bedtime easier.
For sure.
I say, where did you meet your wife?
So here at the University of Toledo.
Okay.
Yeah, we met here, and then, I'm from Pittsburgh. She's from Tiffin. And, at the end of the day, the wife calls the shots, so we're living back here now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. So, obviously, you're still in shape. What's your workout routine?
It's funny because that's one thing. It's a lifestyle. Like I have to work out. I try to watch what I eat in a sense, and to just do what's right where I feel good, and but I have to work out every day. If I don't, I get irritated. And it's even funny. Sometimes I'll be like maybe talking to my wife about my day, and she's like, well, you didn't have to get that 2-hour workout in. And I was like, yes, I did, or I'd be even more mad right now.
That's right.
So I do feel like I still have to stay active and work out, and because I just think it's so important, not only physical. We all want to look physically fit and good, but at the end of the day, too, mentally.
Mental.
It's just for your mental health to stay active. And I feel like it just builds that confidence in yourself, and it just helps in so many different areas of your life.
Absolutely. And so you put yourself through that hell every day. You can take on anything else that anybody throws at you. So, yeah.
No,
That's your
absolutely.
philosophy.
So lately I've been doing like some CrossFit stuff.
I was going to ask you if you were which part or which realm you were into.
Yeah,
now.
I'll do anything, honestly. Like I do it all. So lately, too, the last 2 weeks, I've done some studying on fasting, and I was like intrigued on the benefits. So last week I fasted for 36 hours.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, straight, just water.
Okay.
And then this week, same thing. So starting Sunday night, I didn't eat anything after 8 o'clock. So, and then I didn't eat anything Monday day, and then I ate breakfast Tuesday morning.
Holy
Okay.
cow.
So just drinking water. But they just talk about the benefits of, you get a shot, HGH, more production in your body, stem cell regeneration for brain healing, heart healing. So just the stuff I research and learn, I'm like, wow, like I was just intrigued to try it, see how my body felt and things of that sort.
So how did you feel on Monday? Were you irritable?
I
would be.
And I'm the type, I'm hangry. Like if I don't eat, but when I know that's what I was gonna do, and that was like kind of the goal of the day, I can like fight through. Like, I was starving, it was hard.
Yeah.
But I knew that's what I was gonna do or trying to do. But now if I'm like just hungry when I'm eating in a day, I'm miserable if I'm not eating.
As I say, did you notice any of these benefits? Did you still work out, same regimen?
I still worked out.
Yeah.
So usually I'm working out in the morning. So, Monday was fine because that's just a normal, you wake up from, and I wouldn't eat breakfast before my workout. But then Tuesday was tough. Like Tuesday I go into that workout in the morning without
Just
eating anything
Wow.
the day before.
Yeah.
So it was tough. I felt like a little drained. Last week, I felt like I had more energy in that workout. This week, I felt more drained. I don't know if it was the heat mixed in as well. But I did feel more like limber and loose,
Really?
like without like the food. And I did feel like, and I wasn't doing it to like lose weight. I was doing it for the benefits of kind of like the HGH, the stem cell, the brain and heart healing. Like I was just curious of that stuff. So yeah, I mean, I feel pretty good, but it's, it's tough though too, because Monday's miserable because you don't eat. So you feel tired.
Yeah.
So by the time I go to bed Monday night, I have more energy. So I remember laying in bed Monday night without eating all day, like I don't feel as tired. And then when you get up Tuesday, and then I eat again, now I'm tired because I just ate.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing right now.
There's no way to win.
Yeah, who
With your
knows?
body, it just does what it's supposed to do, and you just keep feeding it. One thing I've always wanted to try to do is just cut sugar out.
Yeah,
It's almost impossible.
it's so hard.
It's
Yeah.
like crack.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's insane.
But yeah, I've thought a lot about fasting and just never jumped off that ledge.
yeah, 36
You know,
hours.
so-
That's wow.
So when I was with the Steelers in 2015, I had surgery on my shoulder, and they fixed the posterior labrum. I still had a partially torn rotator cuff that bugged me, and it still bugs me to this day. And but I always felt pinching when I threw. And I was like, okay, well, I'm going to give up all sugars and carbs for the next month and to see if I can really reduce all inflammation
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
see if my shoulder feels better. And honestly, when I did it, I lost 15 pounds like that.
Did you?
And I'm talking about I wasn't eating fruit, because fruit,
yeah.
like with
Yeah.
the natural sugar. So that's how, like, it wasn't juice, fruit, nothing, no carbs, anything. And I felt more limber. I dropped 15 pounds. But I also, when I went back to work out for the Steelers, I remember the Steelers looking at me like, oh, man, you sick? Like, you're okay? Like, because I probably
did
looked
you
so
do?
skinny.
Yeah.
And then that's when it hit. I was like, I don't need to be – I can't keep losing weight.
Yeah.
And plus, it helped my body felt really good. I felt loose and more flexible, but I still had that pain in my shoulder, and that's what I was doing it for.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, I was like, I like my food too much. I need that sugar again in my
Oh,
life.
yeah.
Yeah.
As I say, do they put you on a diet, or do they just kind of say, hey, you're your own man, you figure it out, just don't screw up the plays and whatever else?
So, I mean, some guys, you try to monitor their weight, and you have the ability to talk to different people to see how you should be eating, what can benefit you the most. But as far as, like, where I was at in my career and how I was physically fit, like, they weren't concerned about weigh this or that. But, yeah, like, when I showed up, when I lost 15 pounds, and I'm, like, usually 212 to 215, and now I'm 190 or so, they're kind of like, you should gain some more weight, because if you take a hit.
Yeah.
Right.
And then sometimes it happens with the big offensive linemen. You think big offensive linemen, you want them big and heavy, but that's not always the case. You want them fit and in shape.
Right.
So sometimes you're asking those linemen to lose some weight. So you always had a weight that you had to hit going into training camp.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I was getting at. It was whether you had to be here within this margin, or we're going to put your ass on the treadmill and you're going to run that shit off. Were you classified, or did they classify you as more of a mobility quarterback or a pocket quarterback, or how did they have you set up?
I mean, I could do both.
Okay.
I was definitely, could get through the reads and had the arm and accuracy to operate from the pocket, but I had the ability to make plays with my legs as well.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm considering you, and then I'm thinking Big Ben.
Yeah.
It's just like an immobile object. He's got to stay in that pocket, and I could see you being more athletic and more skilled to just boom take off on the fly.
Yeah, and and Ben too. He's big and he can operate from that pocket. But the guy for all those years, I mean, he's hard to bring down in the pocket.
Sure.
So he's sneaky athletic and he can extend plays. And that's what he's done so good in his career.
So you own a hospice center, or you?
So
What's the
so
deal
we
with that?
own
'Cause that's interesting.
we own a home hospice. So not a facility. You know,
Okay.
we have an office and a license that we provide to hospice service.
Oh, okay.
So we contract with assisted livings, nursing homes, and we go to them to take care of the patient. So, you know, honestly, it's a really rewarding business because it's tough. I mean, it's like an end-of-life care.
Right,
I
it
mean,
is.
But hospice is amazing. I mean, we've used it for family members and
yeah, it's, you know, and I've learned so much over the years that it truly is. If you have like a personal experience with hospice, you do appreciate what the service provides. You know, because at the end of the day, everyone over the age of 65 has Medicare, so it's a Medicare reimbursement, and it's the extra love and care and support that we could provide to our patients and their families, not just the patients. So it's been definitely a rewarding business in a sense of just the relationships, just honestly the transition, you know, and that's why we named it Pilgrimage. Is it's a journey, you know, helping one through their life's journey, the final stages. So it's tough. And then you have so much respect for, you know, the people that are in the business, like, or, you know, the nurses, the aides, because this isn't just a job. It's their calling. I mean, this is what they're called to do in life.
Absolutely.
So it's really cool.
Well, let's say that's got to be a tough position to be in. My cousin was actually a nurse in the Cleveland Clinic in the hospice or the end of the road type of thing. And he was there for 2 years, and he went from just bubbly, you know, he went to UT and he was bubbly, and then he just, over those 2 years, just kind of just drowned out a little.
It's got to wear on you.
Yeah.
So it's got to wear on, you know, got to give those people credit for
absolutely.
For
you see so much, and I mean, God bless them for all they do.
Yeah. So you've got that. You've got the restaurant. You're an entrepreneur. You do public speaking.
Yeah.
You got anything else in the works?
I mean, who knows? That's what my wife, like, it's funny when someone asks, oh, what are you doing? You know, I work for Pro Football Focus, so I oversee all their quarterback grading. It's a data analytics company Chris Collinsworth owns out of Cincinnati. So every Sunday night into Monday, I have to grade and watch every throw in the NFL. Then I get through the college guys during the week. I watch some of them. And then I'm on NFL radio Thursday and Friday. And then, I own social. Then I own a hospice. So that paired up with 3 kids, you know.
Yeah. So say, did your wife know what she was getting into?
Yeah.
I'm not going to be home, but, you know.
That's why Miranda's awesome, though, is because she lets me do my thing, and, you know, and she knows how I am, you know. But she's, you know, super smart to where it helps because I could throw ideas off her and get her feedback, and it helps.
Well, awesome. Hey, we won't take up any more of your time. We now hear of what busy schedule you have.
Yes, I can't believe you even squeezed us in. So thank you.
No, I appreciate you guys coming over this way. And
I'll say we're here all the time. We just never run into you. We come in, look at all the pictures on the wall and everything. And never run into you.
Well,
we knew you were in and out all the time.
I'm hiding out somewhere, either eating or picking up the food and taking it home. You know?
Well, hey, I want to thank everybody for your time this time, and until next time.
Thanks.
Thanks, Bruce.
Yeah, thanks, guys.